Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and I am here to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the birth of Into the Knicks-Verse. That's right. A year ago today was the first time I posted a video, and I had no idea what this was going to turn into, but I am happy I did it. I've had a blast. It's been an incredible journey, and of course, it was a fabulous ride. I mean, the way that season ended was fantastic. Well, not the postseason, but the regular season. That was incredible. I was there for that ride. It was so much fun. And I really want to thank all the subscribers, the supporters to the channel so much. Obviously wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. This is a two-way street. Thank you, everybody. Hey, we surveyed 100 people. D Nice, excellent, man. Tam Hill, Connor Tulin. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. I wish the Knicks were in a better state right now, but to have a little something funny to share with you guys, this was the very first video that I ever posted. This was the intro of it. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Knicks-Verse. Today we're going to talk about the state of the Knicks right now after 23 games. We're almost a third of the way through the season. The record is 10-13. I had like zero energy. I had no idea what I was doing. I actually shot that on my iPhone originally, and I can't even remember what mic I had. Definitely wasn't anything like this, but it's interesting how far it's come along. And thanks so much to JD for being my first guest on Into the Knicks-Verse. I was hoping he could be here today, but it's Saturday night. It's the night with the wives and the girlfriends and whatnot. Actually, same thing for Foxy and Keith. I don't know where he is. No, he's working. They all couldn't make it. It's a late start Saturday. I decided not to go to the Laker game. I decided to be here to actually do this pregame show because it's on the actual 1 year anniversary. I'm going to go catch them when they come back to play the Clippers, and things should be very different then. Right now, the team is in flux. There's a lot of tension because of the potential the trade deadline coming up and any potential moves that are coming. I'm sure that's affecting players, their morale. It's affecting their sense of stability. So, which is to be understandable. When you're not on solid footing, it's hard to focus 100% on the job at hand. But I hope they do tonight. It's a winnable game. I have heard that LeBron is a game time decision. So we'll see. The first one's always the worst. Thanks, D-Nice. Yes, it was terrible. And you know what? I practiced. And that's how bad that still turned out to be. What just shows, if you keep working at something, you definitely can get better. What do they say? You don't become an expert at anything until you put in 10,000 hours, something like that. And I believe it. Definitely, I believe it. I've had to actually train myself to focus more, to talk faster, keep my energy level up. And it does help to have notes. Notes help. Notes help tremendously. Yes, they do. All right. So the next thing, I already showed that. All right. This is what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of things. One, we're going to talk about Kemba Walker and his situation with the Knicks, with the trade deadline coming up. And then I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to take you guys back to the core of what Into the Knicks-Verse is about, which is to look at the team or players from an analytical point of view. And I have some stats to show you about Immanuel Quickley that they blew my mind. I was actually doing research on something else. Actually, De'Aaron Fox. I was researching the trade between De'Aaron Fox and Randall, and I came across, when I started filtering out older players and just kept it focused to players that are 26 and under, man, does Immanuel Quickley pop off the page. You'll see. I'll show you guys. But first thing, let me shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining us again. Thumbs ups. We're over, we have 4,200 subscribers. It's awesome. Now we're on the journey to 5,000. Let's get to 5K as quick as possible. It'd be awesome. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And shout out to UBG, Angel Torres, Thank you, man. Yeah, Knicks. I hope the Knicks do win tonight for the anniversary. That'd be fantastic. That really would be fantastic. We surveyed 100 people. Thank you so much, man, for these. LeBron is playing. Okay, so we got that. All right, you know what? Let's do it. I mean, if we didn't, LeBron missed the game at the Garden. So it made it that much harder. I mean, LeBron is actually having a pretty amazing year, sensational year, considering he's 37. I believe he's 37. Unbelievable. And I'm sure you guys heard the reports that he wants to continue playing and will leave the Lakers to play with his son Bronny. Like if his son ends up getting drafted by let's see, Detroit, LeBron might go to the play with him in Detroit. That'd be wow. What a story that would be. I actually would like to see that. Definitely would like to see that. I hope he definitely hangs around. Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you so much, man. Happy anniversary. Hey, it's an anniversary for all of us, man. The Knicks-Verse. All right, let's get to this. Here we go. All right, where'd it go? There we go. All right, so Kemba, there is a possibility that Kemba may not ever play as a Knick at Madison Square Garden again. That's right. The trade might actually happen before the Knicks return to New York. Actually, today, Kenneth McMillan, who I'm not that familiar with, and I almost didn't want to even show this, but I checked him out. He is reputable. He's hearing from a close source to the situation that the Charlotte Hornets have expressed interest in acquiring Knicks point guard Kemba Walker. The package of Ish Smith plus a future second-round pick has been discussed, says the source. This makes so much sense. Kemba still has his home in Charlotte. His roots are there. He played fantastic for them. He never wanted to actually leave Charlotte if they had given him the max. So that makes a lot of sense. And Ish Smith, his contract is fine. He actually has, he's on for the rest of this season for like $4.5 million, actually half that. And his 2022-23 salary is non-guaranteed, which would help facilitate the salary dump. So basically, it would be a nice way for us to get Kemba's salary off the books for next season and still get back a second rounder and have Kemba go back to a place where he would be happy. So it actually would be a win-win-win-win-win all around. I'm in favor of it, especially Berman put out this article this morning. Oh, yesterday, actually. It was yesterday, late yesterday. He talked to Kemba while he was here in LA. I should have gone. I should have gone to Poly. They were playing at UCLA. I should have realized they were practicing over there. Missed opportunity. Oh, well. If you guys saw the interview, you see that Kemba definitely is having a difficult time. He used the word difficult several times during this actual interview. He says, I'm in a whole different role than I've been in my career, even when I was in Boston. So I'm in a whole different role. So it's still an adjustment period for me personally, but it's not really about me. I do what I got to do to help the team win, and I just got to play better. That's really it. And that is it, Kemba. You got to make buckets. That's really what it comes down to when the ball is actually in your hands. And again, the offense isn't being run through you anymore. So I know that that's a difficult adjustment for you. But I hope that wherever you end up, that you are able to transition your game from what it once was to a productive player on the court now with your situation with your knees. I hope that can happen for Kemba. I'm a huge fan of Kemba. I am so bummed that the Kemba experiment makes it sound like, well, I guess it is experiment. Didn't work out here in New York. It's a big bummer. And I really do hope that the trade comes through. I mean, you guys let me know how you guys feel about that, because I think it's the best thing for everybody, for all parties involved. Let's see. They aren't going to keep Ish Smith. No, we're not going to keep Ish Smith. It's a move to clear room. Yep, that's right. Let's see here. Keith Turner, salute, brother. I would hate to be the team. It'd be the team that have to deal with LeBron James playing with his son circus. It'd be wild. Hey, it still would be entertaining, though. Definitely would be entertaining, man. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the schedule right now, this West Coast trip. So, as you can see, there are really only 3 games remaining before the actual trade deadline, because the last game, the game on the 10th happens at 10 p.m. East Coast time. That's after the trade deadline. So we only got tonight. We have Monday against Utah, Tuesday the back-to-back against the Nuggets, brutal, and then they go even further west again. They go to the Warriors, and then they pop up to Portland to finish up a week from today. So actually, a week from now, that game will be over, and all 5 of these games will have been played. Tonight is the key game. Tonight is a key game. If the Knicks come out with a sustained effort, they can win this game. And if they do pull this game out, they're setting themselves up for at least, because Portland is not doing well right now. And that's a very winnable game. So and there's also, that's a very winnable game. So at least if we can win tonight, we could come back 2-3. All right, 2-3 is not, I can deal with that, considering the way the Knicks have been playing lately. It's such a brutal West Coast trip, but I can definitely deal with that. That means the Knicks would come back 26-31. 5 games below 500. Well, they're 4 games below 500 now, so they would drop 1 game further. Makes the play-in harder and harder. But when you look at the standings, the Knicks right now, with their 24 wins, Toronto, that's in 7th, has 28 wins. So that's 4 games. If you drop 4 games below, Indiana's got 19 games. Indiana's the team below us. So we are actually closer to the top of the play-in than we are to falling below the team that's below us. We are at the bottom of that center cluster, the middling area. We're at the bottom of that center area. If somehow, man, Julius can wake up and recapture a bit of his former glory, who knows? We could go on a run. Because RJ, even though he's still a little too inconsistent for me, he's still delivering buckets. He gave us 23 points the other night off 17 shots. Not the greatest efficiency, but I'll take that. At least we can depend on that. And also, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is waiting in the wings. Not waiting in the wings, but he's rehabbing. He's targeted to come back on February 25th. So there's a possibility that even if no trades happen, and somehow Julius can recapture his on-court focus, because that, to me, that's all it is. He's just not focused on the job at hand. He's forcing things still too much. However, he's still passing, which I appreciate tremendously. I'm sure all the other teammates do too. However, it's just not enough. And he's doing it a little too late often. You know, he is making that pass, but it's often after he's so jammed up. And it's almost a desperation kind of decision. Not all the time, but too often. That's how I'm feeling about that right now. So let's see. I don't know. You guys tell me. I want to hear from you guys what you think this next 5 games might be. What kind of records we might end up with next 5 games. Shout out Sly Guy 183. He wants to commit to the tank. Well, I am definitely not in favor of a tank. However, focusing and putting this team in the hands of the young core doesn't necessarily mean a tank to me personally, because the young players on this team are delivering. So I just think they need more time. We need to remove some of the vets. And, we've talked about this before. There's been discussions of trading Burks and even Fournier. They've been getting calls about, though I actually have to choose between one or the other. I would choose to trade Burks. I also think we can get some decent value with Burks. It's also been reported that they want to attach some other vets to Burks to move him, so we can do like a 2-for-1 kind of a situation, which then would open up that rotation spot for Cam Reddish. So the thinking is correct. Let's see if they can actually pull it off. Let's see if they can actually pull it off. Let's see what you get. We surveyed 100 people. I'm nervous about our performance in a play-in situation, George. Knicks way too unpredictable. Yeah, totally. But I'll tell you, there is something to be said for whatever happens. If let's say, for example, we do make this trade, right? And or a couple of trades and clear up some roster spots, some rotation spots, and the young guys start playing and they get themselves into, ninth or 10th place, and we go in for the play-in. Even if we lose, it's still a great learning experience for those young guys, especially setting themselves up for next season when more pieces will be brought in. And who knows, maybe next season we will finally get back to where we were last season in terms of the 4th seed, 5th seed, 6th seed, whatever. That's the hope, that your young core just keeps developing together. And they need to be tested. Games need to mean something for players to really learn how to play together and who they really are and how to perform and become the best players that they possibly can. When the games don't mean anything, it doesn't really matter as much. You know what I mean? Like, they're not learning as much. They're not being challenged as much. That's the way I feel about that. But whatever. All right, Francis Abogado, shout out from the Philippines. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys are from other places, definitely let me know. Lightning Leg. Hey, George, what do you think about the Anthony Melton trade? I like him. Grizzlies are jammed at the wing, and Melton is a great young defender. Okay, you know what? It's a good time for this. I'm going to show you guys some stats. Going to show you some stats here. Here we go. Here we go. Let me do it this way. No. Oh, sorry about that. Here we go. Okay. This is Mr. Emmanuel Quickley. And I was looking at basically, we have a problem with our point guard. A year ago, actually, one of the main focuses of my videos a year ago was the point guard situation. And I was calling, why don't we just start IQ as the point guard? Let's find out what he has. And that was right before the Derrick Rose trade. In fact, I did the first video, and then the Derrick Rose trade was, I think, a couple days later. So that changed that whole dynamic there. But look at this. This is from Cleaning the Glass. These are all of the points and combos that are under 26 of age that have played more than 500 minutes this season. Look at the points per 100 possessions differential when Emmanuel Quickley is on the court. He is 5th best. 5th. I know he's not having a good season shooting wise, compared to last season. He's frustrating to us, obviously, right? He often, makes mistakes. He dribbles into traffic when those 2 turnovers that he had in a row after he hit those incredible 3-pointers, and then with the and one, he scored those 7 points in like 20 seconds. It's fantastic. I just want to pull up his stats from this season here, just to make sure what his actual shooting percentage is at right now. Let's see. All right, I think he's shooting around 38% or so, but it doesn't matter. Look at it. He's at plus 8.4 per points per 100 possessions, which is, look at this. It's better than Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray, Jalen Brunson, De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Simons, D'Angelo Russell, and Ja. Ja's at the very, very bottom there. Actually, let me hide this so you guys can see it. See, there's Ja right there. So look, there's a possibility that we have the point guard that we need already on this team. Even when D Rose comes back, D Rose can spearhead the second unit. IQ can slide into the starting lineup. Look at the impact that this guy has. Let me show you the next slide here. Now, when you look at his half court points per play, he's 3rd best in the half court behind Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell. I mean, the numbers don't lie. And remember, Cleaning the Glass scrubs out all of garbage time. So this is not garbage. And I know that Quickley, he comes off the bench, and a lot of these guys are starters. However, we've seen that Quickly often ends up closing the game. He's often actually playing against first units later on in the game. In the beginning part, not so much when he comes in that second quarter or late first quarter. Look at the next one here. Now this is transition. Look how he is in a transition. It's same. Look at it. He's 5th best here. The next one here, this is points per possession of all transitions. He's a plus 1.7. And look, remember, orange means in the upper echelon, as you can see it right here. So it's pretty indicative. The transition frequency, he's a plus 2.2. And again, actual points per play. Oh, points per play and the points per possession. That's totally different. He's a plus 13.6 in all transition, in the transition game. So not only is he impactful in the half court, he's impactful on the break in transition. What are we talking about? All right, now we're going to the Raptor. 538, and if you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I use this often, and this is what helped me see that Julius Randle last season was having an all-NBA level type season, which it ended up being that way. He ended up being second team. But I saw this kind of stuff 3 months before that. So here we go. This is filtering out. This is early players in their early careers. So the 1 to 4 seasons. So Luka, of course. Now you look at here. This is the box score Raptor total. Emmanuel Quickley is 9th on this list. Behind Luka, Trey, Ja, LaMelo, DeAnthony Melton. There you go. See what I was talking about? That yes, I like him. I like this guy a lot, DeAnthony Melton. Darius, Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, and boom, Quickly's right there. Just a 0.4 behind Jalen Brunson, ahead of SGA, ahead of Tyler Hero, ahead of Tyrese Maxey. I know everyone's in love with Maxey, but look, our guy Quickly has a greater impact on actual winning. Remember, this stuff is about winning. That's what these numbers are about. Now let's go to the next one. All right, I'm just looking at the time here. Okay, good. The next one is, this is the on-off Raptor. He's number 1. Emmanuel Quickley has the number 1 rating in on-off Raptor, a plus 11.6. It's small on my screen, so I can't quite see it exactly. I'm not seeing your comments. I'm focused on this stuff right now, but I'll go through the comments in a little bit. Look at that. Number 1, ahead of Darius Garland. Look at Anthony Simons, who I love Anthony Simons, but our guy Emmanuel Quickley is rated ahead of him. This is this season. And we don't even think he's having as good a season shooting-wise this season that he did last season. But his defense has developed. His passing game has developed. His ability to see the court, even if sometimes he makes mistakes, he obviously impacts a positive result much more often than he makes a mistake. And we all know that turnover-wise, he's fantastic. He rarely makes a turnover, except for those 2 in a row he made. But that's kind of like, I think he's still young. I think that could be attributed. Imagine him 2 more seasons from now, what kind of a playmaker he might actually develop into. Now, for the final one here, or the overall Raptor, Trae Young's number 1, Darius Garland's number 2. Now, doesn't this feel right? Look at Luka's number 4, Quickly's number 3, right there. Ja, DeAnthony Melton, shout out to you, brother. Look, LaMelo, look at this. So this whole discussion, this whole argument, oh, Quickly's not a point guard. I don't care. He's a winning player. He impacts winning. He makes the other players on the court better. We've seen it. This is it. What are we doing, Thibs? Why do we keep doing the wrong thing at the 1 position? Makes me insane. I've been calling for this for a year now. We need to find out if he's got it or he doesn't. If we had actually started him last season, by now we would actually know. And we might not even have gone down this Kemba experiment path. There's my little rant. And here we go. Wins above replacement. He finishes 8th right there with a 3.5. I think we have our starting point guard for this team on this team right now already. All right, let's go to. We're gonna do the pregame stats here. All right, let me shout out to the chat. Best of worst. Shout out to you, brother. Jao Pedro Gomes. Hey, I don't think I've seen you before here. You can't see IQ as a playmaker? Just watch him. I mean, the stats are there. I don't know what else. I don't know what else I need to do. Just watch him play. Watch the numbers. Look at the score of the game when he enters a game, and look at the score when he leaves the game. He turns tides constantly. Look, even if we started him tonight, would he instantly, be the guy? No, you got to give him a little bit of time. But he has displayed over a year and a half, a season and a half, that he has the credentials to make a claim for the starting point guard position on the New York Knicks right now, as we're currently constructed. There we go. Hey, Samuel Oviedo. Thank you, brother. I've been a Knicks. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Let's see here. Peter Bones. Any word truths on Randall wanting to be traded? It's a tough one, man. That's a tough one because if you saw his interview, he was kind of combative with Berman. Like, who said that? Who said that? So it's hard to know what the actual truth is. However, I would not be surprised if he wants the situation that he's placed himself in to change. Sometimes players don't know how to actually change it themselves. He keeps dodging the media. He didn't come out after that Memphis game to talk to the media. We all know about the infamous thumbs down. And then, his quote apology, which wasn't really an apology. He just hasn't handled it well. And maybe he just needs to find a different place. That may be what happened. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has intimated to certain people that he would be open to a trade. However, I don't know any of that for a fact, so I can't say. But I wouldn't be surprised. And we know that the Knicks are open, depending on the right offer, to move him at the moment. And then those rumors with Fox and him, they're heating up. I mean, yesterday was an all-time high on that. And on in our pregame show, we already had a whole a segment about Fox for Randall trade a couple of weeks ago. So we were out in front on that. I think it's a possibility. I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to do at the moment. He's still young, still 27. The team that's receiving him could really be getting a guy who wants to prove something, and he'll be getting a fresh start. I think it makes a lot of sense. And then it helps the Knicks put the focus on that younger core, because we have a lot of players that are like 23 and under that I think their floor is that they're solid rotation players. Now the ceiling for some of them, like RJ, Cam, even Mitch, Grimes, and IQ, you saw the ceiling could be pretty high for these guys. So, but you don't know until you give them the minutes. And then there's Obi. Obi could flourish. So we'll see. We shall see. How mad would it be if the Fox trade was? Yes. Hey, this also started coming out yesterday. Yeah, that it might actually be for Obi. It would be the key part. And then basically we'd have Fox here with RJ and Randall. Hey, if that was the situation, I'm not in love with it personally here in New York, mostly because we're still dependent on Randall rediscovering himself. And it might be something that might not happen until, I hope it happens tonight. Let's put it that way. But it might not be something that happens until next season at the earliest, if he stayed in New York. But if he got traded, there's a lot of a sense of renewal that comes with going to a new place. And that actually might spark his ability to recapture his performance from last season, or at least somewhere in between what he is now and what he was last season. So let's hope. Let's hope. Yeah. Quickly 5th place. I know. Crazy, right? All right. Let's look at the stats here. The Knicks versus Lakers, the last 10 games. Both teams have been struggling. Knicks have 3-7 in the last 10 games. Lakers 4-6. Points per game. Both not performing well. We're not scoring enough. We're both in the bottom end. 103.6 for us, 106.5 for them. Opponents in the last 10 games we're talking about. Opponents points per game, 106.5, which is exactly what they're scoring, and they're allowing 107.6. So it's gonna. I mean, numbers are saying it's gonna be a tight game. So we'll see. And the last one was, I think, 106-100 is it was the last score of when the Lakers played the Knicks at the Garden. So it's going to be tight. Rebounds, they're weak. And a lot of that could be because Anthony Davis has missed a lot of the season. So that could be why their numbers are low there. But he's not a beast of a rebounder. But he can when he focuses on it. Both teams don't move the ball enough. Both teams, look at us, they're down. The 22.8 assists per game for us, 21.5 for them. Field goal shooting, 44.1%. Not that great. 45.6. So the Lakers, they can stroke it. And Malik Monk he's been balling. As you guys saw on those lists, when I showed the stats with IQ, you saw Monk was on there often. He's having a really nice season for them. Imagine how bad the Lakers would be right now if they didn't even have Monk. Whoa. Let's see here. All right. And I didn't even talk about Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, who please, no Westbrook to New York trade. Please, 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 Leon, don't do it. Don't do it to us. Randall's still the leading scorer, 18.5, though RJ has been the leading scorer for the past month and a half for the Knicks. I believe past month and a half, he's like 19.5 or something like that. Maybe almost 20 for the whole month and a half. Randall's almost 10 rebounds per game. Westbrook 7.8, almost 8. Look at Westbrook's leading in all 3 categories for them, and Randall's leading in all 3 categories for us. 2 pretty inefficient players. Actually, Westbrook is shooting better than Randall. 44.1% to Randall 41.4%. Wow. That is wild. I hadn't even noticed that until I just looked at it right now. Wow. Look at that. First time I looked there. Now, obviously, Derrick Rose is out, but he's not even on the chart because he's totally out. That's the injury report. No one's listed for the Knicks, so that means the Nerlens will be available. And Melo, I think he'll definitely miss this game. And LeBron is in. So that's since I captured that, LeBron is in this game. So that's awesome. It's great news. That actually is really good news. All right. So let's oh man. I just rolled right through all that stuff. I was like, oh, I have so much to talk about. I want to make sure I touch on everything. Yes, IQ has been bricking for a while. That's what's shocking about those stats. It shows that to be an impactful point guard, you don't necessarily have to score a lot. You don't. You just have to get the ball to the right place so that we get easier buckets. And you have to admit, when IQ's on the court, we get easier buckets. We get more transition buckets. He has gravity, is what he has. He pulls players towards him, and that allows space for the others on the court for him. Guys like Obi, even Burks actually benefits from it. Burks is a better player next to IQ than he is in the starting lineup. Let's see here, and he also, we do definitely miss D Rose. Definitely miss D Rose. It's going to be interesting when Rose returns. It's going to be interesting how this team is going to be. It's definitely going to take a minute. It's definitely going to take a minute for the adjustment to happen. Let's see. D Nice asks, you think Mitch can stay in the game and not foul out versus Davis tonight? Well, it's always he's actually done a pretty decent job on not fouling out, uh, especially this season. And he started to last season, if you guys remember, before he had the injury, because that was a big thing for him. He was so foul prone. I see this will be a good test for him tonight. Be a good test, but we have all of our bigs available, so we can just keep rotating bodies out there to deal with Davis. And I believe that when Davis is out there without LeBron, Julius would probably have some time on him too. So we'll see about that. Let's see. Fast Eddie Felson. Randall burned the bridge with the fans. They will never let him forget. It got worse when he told the beat writers what the middle finger meant. If Rose doesn't move him, he's not very aware, is he? I think they want to move him. It's just, you need to get commensurate value. And he's, unfortunately, because of things like this and his actual performance on the court, his value has decreased. Actually, Berman put out a whole article today about that exact thing, where he interviewed a NBA exec, and let me see if I can find it here. Perception around Knicks star Julius is in fact impacting his value. So that's something. But I think there's enough teams. Hopefully, there are enough teams out there. All we need is a couple that can see the potential in him and being able to try and get him back to what he was last season, or at least, like I keep saying, somewhere in between. It could be 21 points a game, Randall, 10 rebounds, just shooting more efficiently, maybe 35% from the 3-point line. He's just dropped off so much from the 3-point line right now. It hurts. See here, we got when Rose comes back, that might happen. It might happen. He might lose minutes to Rose Grimes. How awesome! How awesome is Quentin Grimes? We got another steal at 25. That guy, he is the best 3-point shooter from the draft. The numbers show it, and we see it. And the way he's doing it, you can see him doing it for the rest of his career. Whew. I think the ceiling's gotten a little higher for him. It's I know it's sacrilege, but I call him Clay Light. He has that. His shot even kind of looks like Clay, and especially the way he like gets it off really fast. It's awesome. All right, I think we got a little spam right here. Got to get this out of here. All right. Remove. Yes. All right. UBG says, I missed it here. Burke shouldn't be at the point for sure. Yeah. Honestly, with all the issues that the team has had, I'm kind of surprised we're only 4 games under 500. I mean, our All-NBA All-Star has pretty much self-imploded. He's not handling the pressure well. He's become, with every 10 games that pass, he gets less and less efficient, less and less impactful on the game, on winning. So that's rough. The lead point guard didn't work out, even though he is starting tonight. I'm talking about Kemba. Our backup point guard, who we all love, Derrick Rose, of course, ankle, then gets surgery. He's gone for eight weeks. It's rough. RJ, our up-and-coming young gun, he gets 2 illnesses. One is COVID-related, so it impacted his performance on the court. But finally, he's getting it together. And he's actually the most interesting thing in terms of, for me personally, of what's RJ going to do tonight? I'm always excited about that. What else has happened? Fournier, the big free agent signing, has been inconsistent, though of late. He was the top. He was in the top. He was the number 5 best 3-point shooter in the month of January. So that's a decent stretch, and we've seen it. I mean, he did have some. The problem with him is he has a game where he has 0 points, and then you'll have 27 points the next night. That inconsistency is murder. We also have a coach who appears to be incredibly rigid, and he just in game decisions, as the game is actually happening, he doesn't pivot. Look, let me tell you guys something. The key to any endeavor becoming successful is being able to pivot. Because you can have an idea, let's say a new business idea, a new concept or something, and you go out and a lot of investment banking groups and stuff, what they want to see is a POC, a proof of concept. Now, the thing is, and the reason I want to see it is because often when you are in the proof of concept phase, you discover, wait a second, that's not what people want. People want this. And then you pivot, and then suddenly you're Amazon and you're selling furniture, not books. Suddenly you're competing against Netflix and not competing against Barnes and Noble anymore. You have to be able to pivot in life to be successful. And it doesn't seem like Thibs is quick to pivot at all. And that is holding us back. Hate to say it, because I'm a Thibs guy. I love Thibs. But all the stuff up until the game starts, obviously he prepares them very well. All the players say it. I just wish in the middle of the games, he saw something and be like, oh, I can exploit that weakness. Rarely do we see those kind of adjustments. Like you see, like a Ty Lue does. We don't see that from him. Hey, brother Contreras, welcome, brother. What's up? Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. What's up, George? It's got to be a tough game against the Lakers. Besides, we probably have same starting five. Yes, we do. LeBron James is coming back. What's your opinion on our teams until trade deadline? I think, I just, said a whole bunch about it. I actually think that there's a possibility that once the trade deadline passes and whoever is still here with us, that they can recapture some of that magic from last season. Again, that run that they made didn't happen until after the trade deadline last season. The team was actually 2 games below 500 before that 9-game win streak, and then that turned into 12 out of 13. So, and basically we have the same, key players. We Randall, RJ, and then D Rose hopefully will be back, and we have a better Obi, a better IQ. We have a deeper bench. Grimes is a tremendous shooter and defender. Hopefully Deuce gets some burn in the second half of the season. We have Jericho Sims. His athleticism is tremendous, but Thibs just has to use them correctly. But let's hope that after the trade deadline, all of that noise that's up here calms down and the players can just focus on the business of basketball on the court, and maybe they can put a nice win streak together. The problem is that the schedule is brutal. It's brutal. In fact, we can even look at this again. Yeah. Here it is. So these 5 games will tell us everything. Let's say we win tonight, which I'm like 51% leaning towards we'll win tonight, just because LeBron's playing. Before I heard that when LeBron, I thought he wasn't going to play, I thought, oh yeah, we can definitely win this game. Of course, LeBron is tremendous. So, but let's say we can steal this game. If we do, we have the Jazz, who we have played well against the Jazz lately, and the Jazz are struggling. In fact, I think they have lost 7 in a row or something, right? So let's say we steal that one too. The Nuggets, it's always a tough matchup for us. We drop that. Then we got the Warriors. The Warriors, come on. So let's say we drop that. And then Portland. Portland is vulnerable. We could actually come back 3-2. That would really, you guys tell me, if the Knicks win 3 out of these 5 games, would you guys feel more encouraged by the team and its prospects going into for the rest of the season, or will it not matter? Do you think the team is what it is? You guys let me know. I love all the comments you guys drop, man. I read them. I read them all. basically. I mean, let's see it. Noel was a huge part of the run last season. Yeah, he was. When Mitch went out, if Noel gets traded, I hope Thibs gives Sims more minutes over Taj. Absolutely. I mean, what? Honestly, what? Why are we wasting minutes on Taj when we could be giving more time to Sims or small ball? Let's get let's get Obi and Randall on the court together. Let them figure it out. How I love this idea that you give them a few minutes. Oh, it didn't work. Forget about it. No, it doesn't. It takes time to massage it, to try and figure out how to make things work together. You can only do it by sharing the floor for, a substantial amount of time. Hey, give the thumbs up, guys. We have 112 people in the chat. That's awesome. This is awesome. This is great, man. And subscribe if you haven't. And please drop your comments. I'd love to hear about that. Yeah, right now we're a sub 500 team. Absolutely. Absolutely. But man, the Jazz have finally won 2 in a row. Well, they were on a bad streak before that. Let me see here. Let's see. Because they were. Are you guys having trouble with your ESPN? The Jazz. Yeah, the Jazz are 3-7 in the last 10 games. So they may have won 2. So that just shows they had dropped 7 in a row. So maybe they'd figure some things out. So maybe that game won't be as easy as I was hoping. Yeah, 2-3. 2-3 would be nice, but the truth is we could easily come back 1-4 from this. So this is the make or break part of the year. If we could, let's say it just caves in on these Knicks. We come back 1-4 from this trip. And that means we'll be 25-32. 7 games below 500. I would say the season would be pretty much over at that point. It shows how important these games are. Woo! Man, that'll be rough. Donovan Mitchell came back. Let's see, and Warriors are elite teams. Yeah, Warriors are super. Yeah, I love the way the Warriors play. Probably get 4 times between less winning, but Trailblazers are no more than when they trade normal. Yeah, we probably beat them. I'm hoping so. Who has the most toxic fans in the league? The Knicks or Lakers? You know what? I'm gonna toxic. I mean, I think the answer is Philadelphia. I mean, have you guys ever been to a game in Philadelphia? A hockey game or a basketball game or a football game? It's brutal. There's toxic fans everywhere. This whole thing that the fans are scaring away players from New York. I personally don't buy it. But it's possible. It's possible. I just don't buy it personally. But I'm not on the other side, so I don't know. I can't speak for the players themselves, but I just know there are toxic fans everywhere. There are crazed toxic fans everywhere, just like with anything in life. New York, the thing is, we're just, it's New York. I mean, there's a reason why the song says, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Because it's tough. Why does theater originate in New York on Broadway? Because that's where you go. That's where you go to prove yourself. I mean, yeah, London has a big Broadway scene too, or a theater scene too. But if you want to prove it, like when you open a movie, if you're going to do it like a special opening of a movie, where do you open it? New York and LA, because that's where you find out if something has real quality or not. New York is not a city for mediocre. It's not. You have to be the best. That's why the best ad agencies are in New York. That's why the best financial centers are in New York, the biggest financial centers in New York. It's just the way it is. So why should fans settle for mediocrity? We shouldn't. Look, in my world, I was in advertising and I was in film. in one area, I performed really well and I got rewarded. In another area, I didn't. And it didn't go further. That's just the reality of life. You got to deal with it. So, and then the other thing is, these players, you're not just players, you are entertainers. Look at actors. When I read reviews of my movie, most of them were good, but some of them were bad. And it's tough to deal with. But what am I going to do? Whine about it and go write letters to the critic? It's a waste of time. Move on. Prove it on the court or on the screen or in the field. That's where you got to prove it. Sorry for my rant. Yeah, New York fans, we're the most loyal. That's what, well, I don't know if we're the most loyal, but our loyalty is fierce. It's tremendous. Hey, Chris, what's up? Shout out to you, brother. Welcome. All right, we're going to wind down here. It's 8:38, 8:33 where you guys are. Sorry, 8:33. 5:33 here. Let's see here. The youth is the future. George, the youth are the future. Anything else detracts from that? Yeah, I totally agree. And the possibility of getting the chip. I think this season is a wash. We need to unload the vets and move forward. I 100% agree, but I don't think we should like intentionally tank. I think whatever moves we make are to reinforce the youth movement that we have and to support it or to lead it. That's it. But not through bringing in 32-year-old vets and stuff. That's not for this team anymore. It's not for this team anymore. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this. It's been awesome. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit the thumbs ups. I very much appreciate that. And let's get this win tonight. It's not going to be easy. We got LeBron. We got AD to deal with. Monk has been playing really well. But let's hope that the Knicks, they came out here and they enjoyed the sun, even though actually no, today was nice. They've been here since Thursday. So they had Thursday to chill, yesterday to chill, and then today was a beautiful day. Let's hope they feel refreshed and they come out and they destroy the Lakers on that floor. That would be beautiful. I would love to see that. Would love to see that. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. I am Into the Knicks-Verse, and I will see you guys around the Knicks-Verse. And happy anniversary to this channel.